have a great speech. We all know of this speech. In this speech, he shared his vision of a society where people of all diversity enjoy the benefits of social equality and justice. So as we gather here today to celebrate the legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I would like to look at that aspect of his legacy that speaks on the diversity of faiths. All the faiths gathered here today, plus those that are not here with us today, and of our shared humanity, our common bonds that tie us together, our humanity. And then subsequently, I'll take a look at this legacy through the lens of my Islamic faith. So on faith and shared humanity, at the last ever Christmas sermon that Dr. King gave at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, on December 24th, 1967, he said, and I quote, "The world is not divided between black and white, or Christian and Muslim, but between those who will live together as brothers and sisters, and those who will perish as foes." And in one of the last books that he wrote in 1967, the title of that book is, "Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community?" Dr. King wrote, and I quote, "This is the great new problem of mankind. We have inherited a great world house in which we have to live together, black and white, Easterner and Westerner, Gentile and Jew, Catholic and Protestant, Muslim and Hindu. Because we can never again live apart, we must learn somehow to live with each other in peace." Talk about living in peace. When I first said Salam Alaikum, I got a response back saying, "May you be peace." And with that, I felt welcome. And I thank you for having me in your community to give this sermon today. Going back to Dr. King's quote, I must say that I'm enamored with the use of his phrase, world house. Again, he said that we have inherited a great world house in which we have to live together, black and white, Easterner and Westerner, Gentile and Jew, Catholic and Protestant, Muslim and Hindu, because we can never live apart. We can never again live apart. We must learn somehow to live with each other in peace. The idea of a world house is a very powerful idea. Dr. King's words are very powerful and they resonate with us today. And in these words, he sends a clear and powerful message. The message is that we should live together in peace with justice and equality, or we perish together. There is no third alternative. There is no other choice. Live together in peace, or perish together as fools. So when I look at this message through the lens of my Islamic faith, I find agreement. For background, the lens of my Islamic faith is composed of two things. One is the Quran, and the second is the Sunnah. The Quran is, I believe, as a Muslim, the revealed verbatim word of God, and the Sunnah is the traditions of Prophet Muhammad, whom I believe to be the messenger of God. The Prophet's sayings, his teachings, and his practices. And I have selected 4 passages from the Quran to help me view Dr. King's legacy of faith and shared humanity, and what this means for each and every one of us gathered here today. In verse 13 of the 49th chapter or surah of the Quran, with the title Al-Hujurat, or the apartments, God says, "O humanity," God is addressing each and every one of us. "O humanity, indeed we have created you from a male and a female, and made you into peoples and tribes, so that you may get to know one another. Surely, the most noble of you in the sight of God is the most righteous among you. God is truly all-knowing, all-knowing." In verse 48 of the 2nd chapter of Surah, titled Al-Ma'idah, on the table, Allah God says, "We have revealed this book with the truth. It confirms whatever has remained intact in the scriptures which came before it, and to safeguard it. Therefore, judge between people according to God's revelations, and do not yield to their vain desires, diverging from the truth which has come to you. We have ordained a law and a way of life for each of you. If God wanted, He could have made all of you a single nation. If God wanted, He could have made all of you a single nation. But He willed otherwise, in order to test you in what He has given you. Therefore, try to excel one another in good deeds. Ultimately, you shall all return to God, and then He will show you the truth of those matters in which you dispute. In the second verse of the same chapter, Surah Ma'idah, or the top of the table, God says, cooperate with each other in goodness and in righteousness. Cooperate with each other in goodness and in righteousness, and do not cooperate in sin and in transgression. And the fourth passage from the Quran that I will quote is from verse 32 of the same chapter 2, which is Al-Ma'idah on the table, where God says, we ordain for the children of Israel that whoever takes a life, unless as a punishment for murder or mischief in the land, it will be as if they killed all of humanity. And whoever saves a life, it will be as if they saved all of humanity. So there are 5 takeaways that I have from these 4 passages of the Quran. The first takeaway from the Word of God is that we all have a shared humanity. The second takeaway is that the diversity of men and women is part of God's divine plan. It is part of God's plan that we are diverse. The third takeaway is that there is a purpose for this diversity. Like in everything else in the divine plan, there's a purpose behind it. And the purpose for this diversity is for dialogue and mutual understanding, for us to get to know one another. The fourth takeaway is that the ethos of any true faith in God is in goodness and righteousness. And the last one is that it is imperative that people of faith cooperate together in such goodness and righteousness in order to save all of humanity. Whatever affects one of us affects all of us. So these lessons are encapsulated in the Hadith, a saying from the Sunnah and traditions of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. In this Hadith, in this narration, Prophet Muhammad said, the example of a person who is living by God's orders and restrictions in comparison to those who violate them is like the example of 2 groups of people. They drew lots, and one group got to take the upper portion or upper level of a wooden ship or galley, and the other group gets to be the bottom of the galley, the wooden ship. The thing is, in this wooden ship with 2 levels, one group on the upper level and one group on the lower level, is that the people on the lower level, whenever they had to go get some water to drink, some fresh water to drink, they had to go up to the second level. So every time that they did this, they felt like they were inconveniencing themselves and they were inconveniencing the people on the upper level. So one day they came up with a brilliant idea. One of them said, let us make a hole right in the middle of the lower level of the ship, of this wooden ship. And then water will gush forth from the hole. And then we don't have to go to the upper level to get water. Yeah, that's what I felt tonight. Very brilliant, huh? Now, if you're on the upper level and you heard that this is what the people on the lower level were doing, what will you do? Well, if you're at upper level, you have 2 options. The first option is to let them carry out this so-called brilliant idea of drilling a hole right in the middle of the hull of the ship so that salt water can gush up from the sea into this wooden ship. The second option is to intervene and prevent them from doing this because you know better. You know that if they drill this hole and water gushes forth, then the wooden ship will end up sinking. And if it sinks, it doesn't matter whether you're on the lower level or the upper level, everybody sings together.
Yeah.
So this shape, this galley, is a metaphor for any society, and indeed for every society. It is also a metaphor for the whole world. And from this teaching, I coined the term earth shape. My wife is not here today. Unfortunately, she had to work. She's a nurse, and she was called into work this morning because she's an essential worker. And I said, what about me? I'm not essential. But she's not here today. If she were here, she would say to me, and she said to me when I wrote this, you like all those fancy expressions. Earth shape, world house, earth shape, world house. What does this all mean? Well, it doesn't matter. If we're talking about Martin Luther King Jr.'s world house, or we're talking about the metaphoric earth shape of Prophet Muhammad. What we're talking about is the relevance of the teachings for us here today. And so let me reiterate God's words that we all have a shared humanity, that the diversity of men and women is part of the divine plan, that the purpose of diversity is for dialogue and for mutual understanding, that the ethos of any true faith in God is goodness and righteousness, and that it is imperative that people of faith cooperate in such goodness and righteousness to save all of humanity. So what is Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy for us today? These takeaways are important for us. And the importance of these takeaways are undeniable in our time. We are living in a time of hate. A hate which denigrates and dehumanizes other human beings and leads us to undue and unjust loss of human lives. A hate which affects each and every one of us. Last November, the FBI released a study that the number of hate crimes incidents reported in the United States is on the rise. There was a 17% increase between 2016 and 2017. That is more than 7,000 hate crime incidents that were reported in 2017 compared to 6,100 in 2016. Bear in mind that not all local law enforcement agencies have the same criteria in reporting hate crime. So the numbers are much, much higher than what was reported to the FBI. About 60% of the crimes were committed because of race, ethnicity, and ancestry bias, and over 20% because of religious bias. Most of these crimes are fueled by hatred against immigrants, African Americans, and Jews. Data from the National Crime Victimization Survey from 2012 to 2016 show that more than 20% of suspected hate crimes victimized Latinos. And historical FBI data shows that African Americans generally constitute about 35% of all hate crimes as victims. The Jewish Virtual Library presents data that shows that 60% of religious hate crimes were anti-Jewish, 17% were anti-Islamic, and 5% were anti-Catholic. Anti-Jewish hate crimes increased 37% according to the Virtual Library. And Muslims in America have been subjected to more insults, more attacks, and more hate crimes in the last 2 or 3 years than ever before, specifically more so than after 9/11, according to Omar Rashid of the Victoria Islamic Center in Texas. Current news events affirm this rising trend of hate crime. Just last Friday, a few days ago, a man in Oregon was charged with a hate crime for assaulting a store clerk because the clerk had a turban and a beard. He thought he was Muslim. The clerk wasn't sick. A week prior to that, a minivan owned by a white family in North Carolina was set on fire, and another minivan was spray painted with a swastika and racial slurs. And the reason for this was because the family's 14-year-old daughter was in a relationship with an African American. On November 27, a man walks into a tire shop in Salt Lake City, Utah. His intentions were very clear. I'm here to kill a Mexican, he said, according to police reports. And then proceeded to beat the shop owner and his son brutally. In Connecticut, where I live, a couple of months ago, there were incidents of anti-Semitism at a high school in the neighboring town of, I believe it was in Orange, Connecticut. And this was being reported in the news at about the same time that there was a shooting at a church in Monroe, Louisiana. And then recently, New York City police reported a hate crime incident in a Brooklyn church in which somebody urinated on 2 statues before smashing them at the Catholic church. 2 men made obscene gestures at a family who were driving on I-85 in Georgia and swerved into the lane in which this family was driving because the mother was wearing a hijab. A hijab is the Muslim head scarf covering. The father who was driving was forced to brake abruptly and stay off the highway. And it was only by divine providence that there was neither a crash nor loss of life. And we know that hate crimes have resulted in loss of life. It is with deep sadness that I mention the shooting event at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh on October 27, in which 11 lives were lost. That would go on and on and on and on about hate crime incidents that are reported. But what we should take from this incident is that for us, in our time, that hate is the litmus test of our faith and of our shared humanity. The legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for me is that he has set the standard for people of faith. In another famous sermon of his, entitled Beyond Vietnam, A Time to Break Silence, he said that violence and hatred is irreconcilable with wisdom, justice, and love. He spoke of love as that supreme unifying principle of life, that is somehow the key that unlocks the door, which leads to ultimate reality.
So true.
As a Muslim, ultimate reality for me is God, who is love. One of God's beautiful names is the name Al-Wadud, which translates into the most loving. You can also translate this name into the one who loves, the one who is the source of all love and all loving kindness, the one loved, the one who is deserving of all love and affection, the one who is the goal of the highest love. As a servant of God, I know that a day will come when I shall be held accountable for my worship of and my service to God. A service which, according to the passages I read previously, demands 3 things from me. 1, that I act and I speak against hatred with the language of and acts of love. 2, that I join with people of diverse racial and faith backgrounds in dialogue and mutual understanding. 3, that I cooperate in goodness and in righteousness to save all of humanity from the scourge of hatred. Therefore, faith therefore demands social action. We cannot learn to have faith and not do anything about it. In the Quran, when Allah, God, addresses people of faith, He follows it up with righteous action. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu wa amilus solihat. All you who believe and do the righteous deeds. So righteous deeds for me is a way for me, is social action, which is a way for me to follow the guidance and the traditions of all the messengers of God, from the first of them to the last of them, and to honor my Lord and my Creator. It should be for all of us gathered here today too. It is a way for us to remember the man, Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., and it is a way for us to celebrate his legacy. I hope that this is the same for you as well, regardless of whatever your race is or whatever your faith is. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Glorified be the Lord of majesty, who is above that which is attributed unto him, and peace be on the messengers, and praise be to God of the world. Thank you.